All right, welcome back to day two. It's been a fun day, a lot of learning going on, so just going to share with you what I learned today. So I watched this video, and you probably can't see, it's titled like $2,000 profit in 1 minute, best pocket option strategy, and this was from 2021. So basically, we'll kind of flip back over here. What this particular person kind of shared was watching for a period of time during a trade or during the market rather, where it comes outside of this Keltner channel. And so there were certain settings for this Keltner channel. I'll just pull those up. It's 25, 30, and 2 is what he suggested. And I'm sure it's going to work differently for different assets that you're trading, and you kind of need to figure that out along the way, was one of the other things I heard. But basically, kind of come in here, you were looking for that and then the RSI as well. So let me just pull this up here. The RSI down at the bottom, this top green line represents 70%. This line down here is 30%. So anytime this kind of graph is above the 70 or below the 30, that's one of our kind of data points. The other one is outside this blue Keltner channel. We're basically looking for something that closes, so like right here on the upside. So this closed above that Keltner channel, and had down here, had that been above 70, this would have been a time where we would put in a lower, according to this person's strategy, a lower for 1 minute. So each one of these candlesticks right here is 1 minute. So we would have actually gone ahead and put in 1 minute had that been above 70. So if I just switch it up here and kind of do the reverse, here is one. If this would have been at or below 30, and this closed negative below that Keltner channel, we'd put in a 1 minute higher right here. And you can see that both of those work. We can kind of come back here and look. Here's one that's below 30 right here. But the previous one closed outside the channel, and it looks like it was probably also below 30. This one closed, but it was not. So you might have gotten an incorrect one here, but then if you repeated it, you would have gotten it correct on the next one. It's going to keep moving forward. Let me just scroll back here. So, here's kind of another example. It's not over 70. Let's see if I can find another one that is. Here's some that are under 30. So here's a great example. This one obviously came all the way down here negative, and then started coming back up. But this one was below 30. So if you got this and you started it right when that next period started, you can see you would have closed higher a minute later. Here's another one. And obviously, sometimes you're going to get them wrong. And so I don't quite yet know how to determine that. So I am working on learning that. But that's what this gentleman basically kind of talked about in his video. His name's Christian. His video is pretty good, entertaining. He did definitely go all in with his account on his trade, though. So that was kind of fun to watch. And then just for another kind of video that I watched was on this one. Let me make him not look so crazy. Basically, this is UK Spread Betting's channel. And this one was also just talking about Keltner channel trading strategy. And his was a much longer term kind of day-to-day Keltner channel trading strategy. It was not so much geared towards day trading, but you could equally, I was just trying to learn more and more and more about this Keltner channel. So I still don't know enough, that's for sure. Watching his, basically, when it comes outside that band, he was talking a lot about things like when this, strikes up here and touches the top of the Keltner curve, a lot of the times it's going to come back and test to the mean and then make it back to the top of the curve and either make a breakthrough or not. And so I need to do a ton more learning to really understand that. But that was what he was doing. He was also talking about what the actual slopes of these lines were and how they actually impacted your decisions as well, kind of if it was a big negative slope, a big positive slope, or just something that was kind of flat. So I didn't quite understand or have enough information out of his 15-minute video in order to actually do that. and I need to spend a lot more time on it. And then there was one other video I watched. It was by tradingrush.net, and it was essentially a Keltner channel trading strategy, and they did it 100 times, and it showed what happened. And apparently they have done all sorts of different strategies. And the interesting one was that, following the Keltner channel strategy, it was actually easy to follow. And the one downside was in this video, it got 17 wrong trades in a row, which basically occurs, kind of when you see something like this right here. You'd get this one wrong, you'd get this one wrong, this one wrong, this one wrong, this one wrong, right? You'd finally get one right. Don't know where it went because it just went. But you can see in a downward, momentum, you're going to get quite a few of those wrong where it's just straight down. But outside of that, right after having 17 down, it had like 17 up, and they made more on the up. And that was also trading, not necessarily just straight binary options. So I still need to get my account opened for being able to trade where I can actually set a target price and a stop loss. That hasn't happened yet because it's only day 2 and I'm learning and dealing with lots of other stuff, obviously, that goes on in life. But let's just take a look here, and maybe we'll put a trade in. Trading has not gone well today. I think I have been impatient, so being very self-aware. I've been impatient and kind of wanting to make trades to test out this strategy instead of just sitting back and actually waiting. I have changed my amount to be 1% of the bankroll in this account for each trade, as opposed to just $5. So like here is an example where we're, had we been here 3 minutes ago, we might have placed this trade because it was really close to 30, which that's basically stating that this is an oversold asset, and basically it's going to be bought. And so had we been here and punched that in, we would have won the next trade, and then this one would have dropped, and we would have looked at that and been like, I don't know. But if we had done that, obviously we'd be up right now. There's still 20 seconds left on that trade, so who knows what's going to happen. But let's keep clicking through here to see if we can find anything that's close. So this is definitely getting close. Let's go ahead and scroll back. This one is interesting because you can see it's definitely on kind of a downturn, but it's finally gotten close to the bottom of that Keltner channel. And so this one actually I'm a little bit too late. So that one just closed outside and was right at the 30. And you can kind of see how that works right away. This went back up, and maybe it will hold and maybe it won't. So this is kind of one of those downsides that tradingrush.net channel or website saw, which was, if you catch this one and you get it wrong, and then you catch this one and you get it wrong, and you catch a bunch more, because if we kind of come back here, it's definitely, trading in that range. Let's go ahead and obviously we've got probably some resistance or some support right here, and obviously some resistance up here. And this one, obviously, had we been here and seen this one, we'd be pretty disappointed right now. But now becomes the question, like with that all the way down there, we're below 30, it's closing outside. Do we go ahead and put the higher in? And so we'll go ahead and bink that in. Unfortunately, it binked up here instead of at the bottom. So that's unfortunate. So we're kind of taking a little bit of a risk here, but we'll see how it plays out. Unfortunately, my timeline was set on 5, so that's a pretty big mistake. Maybe it'll play out in my favor. It was supposed to be set on 1 minute, not 5. So maybe that will be a lucky thing. So I guess we've got kind of 5 minutes to sit around and wait for this to happen. We'll come back to that graph here in a second. I don't know if you saw that, but it just shot up. So it's unfortunate that it's not on the 1 minute. We'll come back right now, actually. So it shot back up from here. So now it's going to, of course, drop because I'm looking at it to show you that it was up. So this one's getting close to the bottom of that curve. It's got 6 seconds left, but it's probably not going to close below. It's going to probably close right at, and we're still not quite at the 30. So I'm going to be patient with that one and not actually put a trade in there. Back here, kind of looking at this one. This one did close. That would have been a great one to actually hit. And there's 46 seconds left in this one. If that dropped back down, I might actually just stick that in for 30 seconds. Unfortunately, we are too late. So that one is one where I wish I would have been there a few seconds earlier, and I could have caught that and stuck it in for 1 minute and hopefully, pushed that up. So bummer, but I mean, that definitely happens. And I think that's kind of part of the problem, is that I'm like, oh, I just missed it. Let me stick it in for 30 seconds instead of just, nope, you missed it, move on. Let's find something else to actually look at. So here's another example of what we were talking about. This wasn't quite at the 30%, but you can see it was closing below that Keltner channel bottom, and whoop, up it went. So I think just being patient and waiting for those opportunities might be better. I do also try to look at the support and the resistance from before a little bit. So let's see how our trade has about 2.5 minutes left. So this one, trying to push towards the top of that curve. But you can also see we're a flat line right here, and I wish I knew more about whether that was good or bad in this particular case for the Keltner channel trading strategy. But I don't. So at this point, we're just going to watch and see what happens. We'll click through some other graphs. So here we've got another one where it wasn't at 30. And this one we obviously missed, and it also was not at 30. So being patient, we'll just be patient and hang out and wait. This one is actually an odd one. So this one closed here but opened up here. So that one was not quite at 70. But man, I kind of always feel like when I see that, I wish I would have just clicked when it was up here. Just trying to watch this to see if it's going to pop back up. Let's back up a little bit and see what this has done in the last few hours. Yep. So let's take a look at our trade that we actually have placed. You can see we locked it in here. It was super unfortunate it didn't get locked in here, because we do have, had I done the 1 minute, we locked in here and we would have closed here, and we easily would have made that. We still have 1:19 left to sweat on this one. So let's just hope this pushes green for the next minute at this point, and we'll end up being in the money, hopefully. If not, that's okay too. So here we go. We've got a nice down. We've actually hit the 30%. So this one actually would be a higher, but this is also very interesting. It's kind of like this is at the high of the day. But of course, this is the second guessing of things. Had we, stuck to the strategy, and had I been here soon enough, we'd be in here. And so we'll just watch and see for 40 seconds. Would we actually have, netted this into the green? And at this point, it does not look like we would have, but still 30 seconds left on that clock. Let's click back over and look at our trade. It looks like this is probably going to be a no-brainer win at this point, but there's 20 seconds and I've seen things move really fast. So hopefully we'll just nail this trade, and that'll probably be about the end of the video unless we find something incredible. So it wasn't actually below 30. Let's see. It was right on the 30 line here, and here it is actually going to be there. So we're going to just take that opportunity to lock that in and go for it. And let's go look at our trade. It did close. You can see all of my nice losses for the day, but we did win this trade. We put it in here and it did close significantly higher. And you can see right now what's happening on this one is it's just going to continue to plummet is what it looks like. So this one is a 1 minute, so it's got 30 seconds till expiration. So if it does not get back above that line, we will not win that binary trade. So it is, close to 20 seconds to go. But that'll kind of wrap up day 2 once that trade is finished. Hope you've enjoyed the video and day 2 of learning. I've got a lot of work to do. And there it goes. I just needed to hold for 7 seconds. We'll zoom in here. 3 seconds, 2, 1, and did we get it? We broke even. That might be the first time that I've broken even. Yep. So it was exactly the same. So had it been, a 10 tenth of a second earlier, we would have been fine. But we've now broken even on a trade. So that's a great way to end the video. Just par for the course. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I said, click on the like button, subscribe, and let me know if you have any questions or comments. Just going to keep doing these. And again, these are for entertainment value for you. I'm not an investment advisor or anything like that. And I obviously don't know what I'm doing yet. So we'll get there. Day 2. See you tomorrow.